Hi, this is Jeremy Moskowitz, and in this series of videos we're learning how to manage Internet Explorer using PolicyPak Application Manager. In this short video we're going to be managing the Privacy tab. There are three major things on the Privacy tab. This little slider guy that decides will you accept cookies or not. Okay, you can also dictate which sites you can accept cookies from right here, and you can also set the pop-up blocker. So there's three things that you can do here. So we're going to configure all three of those using PolicyPak. Very quickly, I'll double click the entry here in PolicyPak. I'll select privacy, and this slider, well, it doesn't actually do anything here in PolicyPak except it lets you disable the corresponding control in the target application. That's nice, but you actually set it up here. So if you wanted to set low, you could dictate it right there. Now, the slider itself will not move up and down, but it does change it to the right value, and you can test that out to make sure I'm not pulling a fast one on you. The second thing here is the sites. Clicking on the sites button doesn't do anything, but here it is, the per site privacy. And this is what says, well, what do you want to deliver into receiving or blocking cookies? So you can say that site 1 will allow and site 2 will block. And if it's underlined, that means go. We've already talked about this in some of our other videos, the idea that there's two modes. Mode replace says whatever the user already has, we don't care, just overwrite what they have with what we've got here. You could also change it to mode merge. That's another mode. If you make it mode merge, that says if the user has already established some stuff, then go ahead and leave it there and add on these settings as well. The last thing is the pop-up blocker. This is 2 steps. Step 1 is you need to turn on the pop-up blocker. So if you don't do this, it won't actually turn it on. And then you click on settings here. And once again, you've got mode replace or mode merge. It's up to you to decide which one you want to do. And you can drive in the exceptions here for pop-up blocker. Okay, so Google we're going to allow. And if msdn.microsoft.com were already there, we would remove that. So those are the 2 keywords you've got. We'll go ahead and click OK. Click OK again here. All right, here we go. And then let's go over to our machines and see the magic happen. We'll go over to this first machine, which is Windows 7 rather, with Internet Explorer 8. And this machine is Windows 8 with Internet Explorer 11. So we'll see it work on both of these machines in one shot. Switch back over here. And we'll run Internet Explorer here. We'll go over to Tools, Options, go over to Privacy, and boom, you can see that PolicyPak has delivered, we've disabled the slider, so users can't even get to that. If we look at sites, however, you can see that we've delivered those sites, and you can rip this button off if you're so inclined as well with PolicyPak. Maybe I'll do that as a final trick before I say goodbye here. So we've delivered the settings in there, and for the settings for the pop-up blocker, you can see we've delivered that setting as well. So that's the first Internet Explorer. If we look at Internet Explorer 11 on Windows 8, we'll see the exact same thing. So if we look at privacy again, there it's delivered. We look at sites, it's delivered the right sites. We look at the pop-up blocker, it's done the same thing right there. So maybe as our final little magic trick, we'll get rid of the sites button and the settings button so that users can't work around these settings at all. So we'll go back over here, double click on this guy, go back to privacy, right click over the button sites. If you click on it, it doesn't do anything, but you can right click and disable it, and you can also right click the pop-up blocker and disable that guy and the settings button. So now the user can't even access these settings. So now that we've done that, we'll go ahead and close this out. We'll run GP update and watch this take effect. All right, we'll go ahead and run Internet Explorer again. Go to Tools, Options, back to Privacy. Boom, pop-up blocker set. Sites can't be clicked on, and you can get rid of these two if you wanted to. And the settings button is also disabled. So that is how you manage the Privacy tab using PolicyPak Application Manager. Thanks so much, and continue on to the next video.